George, did you know that all GiantMouse knives are named after bars?
Not all of them.
Well, most of them are.
Let's talk knives. What is up, you absolute legends? I'm George, and this is Spencer, and today we're gonna talk about a brand that kind of flies under the knife radar. It's called GiantMouse. He tells me that most of these are named after bars, and I'm calling hacks on this one, so we're actually gonna play a little drinking game here. We're gonna take a shot for each knife that's named after a bar, so get your flask and your shot glass and drink along with us.
To join in. One other thing, we asked for your photos of GiantMouse knives in the wild on Instagram, and you guys all delivered. Afterwards, you're gonna have the opportunity to vote on which one you like the best, and the winner there will win one of these GiantMouse knives on the table.
Of their choice, too.
Yes, they'll get a pick. The details for the poll will be down in the description, and now we're gonna go to Maya for a little bit of background and history. She's gonna give us the skinny on GiantMouse knives. Maya?
I'm Maya from Blade HQ, and we're gonna talk about GiantMouse. So GiantMouse is the story of three dudes, and they are knife community legends. We have Anso, we have Jesper Voxnaes, and we have Jim Worth. Vox and Anso have done designs for every company in existence. Odds are you probably carry a Vox or Anso knife in your pocket right now. And Jim Worth has been a fixture in custom knives for years, and he's been a fan since he was a little kid. GiantMouse as a concept was the result of sitting down after a knife show in 2015 over drinks and discussing possibilities for combining all of their expertise. They decided that since they're all purveyors of fine watches, fine products, old Land Rovers, that's another thing that they like and share in common, that they would take all of their affinities and their knife experience and create a company and design their own things. And the goal with GiantMouse in the beginning was just to have something fun that all three of them would want to do while contributing to the knife community and designing exactly what they want to design. One of the goals with GiantMouse is for the designers, Vox and Anso, to be able to have an open canvas to design what they want and get their designs produced by the best manufacturers in the business. GiantMouse includes two lines. They have the GM line, and that's their extra premium, and then they have their Ace line, which is premium. Their GM line has 1 or 2 releases a year of 400 to 600 pieces only, with a fraction of these pieces as their special pirate edition, where their little mouse logo has an eye patch and everything. I think it's the cutest. And once these are gone, they're gone. They're discontinued, but that brings us to the Ace line, which is their more affordable, still premium production line of knives. And a lot of these Ace releases are based on GM models. So if you miss the initial GM line release, you still have the opportunity to get the knife of your dreams from the Ace line. If you're looking for unique designs from prolific designers made from premium materials, start with GiantMouse. You won't regret it.
Thanks, Maya. So let's get warmed up. You get a freebie, everybody. Refill.
Can you go upside down? Is that the thing? I don't know, I don't drink.
They did on Indiana Jones. All right, can we get a refill over here? Man, you guys put too much in mine.
No such thing, man.
All right.
And for my mother and for OSHA and for workman's comp reasons, we're only drinking apple juice. And even Spencer is still wimping out on shot sizes.
I just didn't want all the calories.
Dude, a body like this takes work, man. Anyway, let's start this party.
You're a Mormon, Ozzy. Next to you, we all have a drinking problem.
All right, what do we got first?
I think I'm first. All right, the first thing we have on the table today is the GiantMouse Nazca.
Which I believe is named after the giant petroglyphs in South America.
They look like giant artworks. But are they?
I guarantee you there's a bar somewhere called Nazca.
Yeah, but I...
Drink if you like, but you're right. This was named after the lines in the fields in Peru. So we have M390 blade steel. This particular model is a Blade HQ exclusive, yay! And it comes with the coated blade, the coated hardware, the reversible pocket clip.
Yeah, much to the chagrin of the photographer, I took this one out for a hike last week.
Yeah, and you got the micarta all
gummy. Yeah, that's the best thing about micarta. It's like a leather belt. Once it's yours forever.
Especially if you have sweaty hands, it's not nice. When I first picked it up, I automatically just kind of think bug out, and I think it maybe has to do with the lock style. But when you pick it up, Definitely not bug out. This thing has some heft to it. Feels really good and comfortable in the hand. It's got a very unique, interesting blade shape, which I really do like.
I don't know, I'm getting maybe some harpoon vibes on this guy. Kind of has a little, but then I'm also getting some Wharncliffe. The point almost reminds me of like a Spyderco Paramilitary 2.
How was it carrying it over the weekend?
It was great. I kind of forgot about it in my pocket, like most knives of its size and shape. But when it's in your hand, it feels more substantial, I guess. Sure. I mean, like with this type of lock, oftentimes they have these teeny little springs inside. This lock is just stiffer than the others. It takes more work to actuate the lock. My suspicion is that's because there's a thicker spring in there, and Jens and Jesper know their knives.
Gotta lay into the lock just a little bit to actuate it. You can feel it. So these start at $225 on BladeHQ.com. We have the green micarta version, then we have the titanium version. This is the BladeHQ exclusive version, so you can only get it at BladeHQ with the black micarta and the coated blade. This one goes for $235.
The black blade, I think, is the thing here. It's a PVD coat, so it's not gonna wear or scratch on you, and it's dead sexy. Yeah. They got the liners too.
Yeah, the liners are coated on this one, which you don't always see done when they coat the blade, but it really finishes off the knife. And
nice touch indeed.
They did a good job on this. Now we did have someone send in a photo of their Nazca. This one comes from 2G Flicks on Instagram, and he sent us in, it's the green micarta with the satin blade, just chilling in a tree.
I really like the contrast of the bark against the satin finish. It really makes it pop, and that's what I think the Nazca likes. It has a unique design that just wants to pop. I think this picture really served that.
And the blade looks kind of sexy as well.
Oh yes, it really does.
All of a sudden we're like photo critics.
Yeah, I actually don't know anything about photography, but this is a good looking picture.
You know what looks good. To you. This looks nice. Thanks for sending it in, 2G Flicks. You guys can all vote on this one at the end of the video. What do we have next?
Over here, I got the Biblio. So, is the Biblio named after a bar?
Yes, it is. It's in Brooklyn.
We can't keep doing this, I'm still young, man.
Take it easy.
Yeah, anyway, the Biblio, I think it's one of the flagships of the GiantMouse.
This one, just so you know, we don't have any other ones in stock. This has been used and abused in our knife library. They actually used this for a video where they put an acid wash on the blade, I believe. It does not come like that. You can kind of see some of the edges.
You can see where we did a very great job of masking with nail polish right in there. Yeah, and we also have a brass one right here. I kind of like the Biblio because it has a nice back point here and your pinky lands here, but if you choke up, your pinky lands in the groove here. And no matter where you grab it, it just is comfortable. And then it's an M390 blade, and then it comes in a selection of handles. I personally go for one of the contoured G10s, but you can get brass if you're into that.
Like micarta, it will become yours as time goes on. I actually carried this one this weekend as well. I went on a little car camping trip with the son and my father. You know, I didn't have to do too much. I was doing car camping, so we're talking about some food prep, opening up some packages of hot dogs. I noticed with this blade, you have the flat grind, but you have a little bit of a thicker stock, so it feels very strong, but it's also meant to slice, and it feels good to use, really. This one doesn't fly open like some of the others. You have to kind of lay into it a little bit. But one thing I've also noticed with the GiantMouse knives is the way they do their hole.
Just let me put the ball in a hole.
I guess for me, it fits my finger a little bit better. And so it's like just at the angle you want it at to get it going.
So one of my favorite things about the Biblio, among other GiantMouse knives, is even though they are very well built and well ergonomic tools, they are beautiful and they fit well in a design and photography scenario. And that's one of the reasons we put out the thing on Instagram. Hey, send us your GiantMouse pictures because they're beautiful. Yeah, so this next picture comes from Dan Raffin.
It's actually in Norway.
In Norway. Yeah, it looks like he took his Biblio above the tree line. It's a long hike, Dan. Well done.
High altitude lake in the background.
And got the nice contoured carbon fiber scales.
It's lightweight and sexy.
Yeah, great shot, Dan. Next up.
This is the GiantMouse Grand. This one
Well, back up. First off, is this named after a bar?
Yeah, it's named after a hotel and bar. I want to say in Nuremberg. So, go. You good?
Yeah, man. We can do this all day.
I know we're dumb. So this is the GiantMouse Grand. This one is a lot of fun. I actually really like this one. This one it's a good size knife, especially for my smaller hands. All you have to do, it's almost effortless. The bearings on that thing, so some of the specs on this, M390 blade, micarta, this red micarta is a really nice choice. It's a very simplistic knife, feels good in hand, rounded spine,
Yeah, I think this one's the camp knife on the table. Mind if I grab it for
absolutely.
a minute? So my hands are a little bit meatier, but not quite as long as Spencer's. But it just fills out the hand really nice, and it's easy to actuate. As you said, it's not too heavy, but it doesn't feel light or fragile either. I wouldn't be afraid to use this on some wood or some rope or anything. Yeah, for sure. I think it's a great choice. Man, I am greasy.
Yeah, don't touch that anymore.
Yeah, it's greasy.
All right, you can pick this up on BladeHQ.com for $240. You're getting the coated M390 blade. Looks like they put some kind of a stonewash on that coating afterwards. You get the micarta scales, wire pocket clip, and you get these coated nested liners.
Nice premium touch.
Yeah, looks great. So we have another photo here. This one's from Javon's _knife addict _life. Yeah. This is actually this actual knife.
Yeah, and he's got it out in the woods, and he's got a nice, like, it looks like he's really used that micarta and got some oils in it. Really makes the red pop.
It does pop. I kind of figured he just bumped the saturation, but I think
no, it's oil, man.
You're right.
Yeah, the green and the red also makes me think Christmas, which could be nice at the end of this summer.
I'm not ready.
I'm ready.
Okay, what do we have as next?
Next, we got the Farley.
And living in a van down by the river.
Now the Farley is a slip joint. Okay, first off, is it named after a bar?
Oh yeah, this one is. It's in San Francisco at the base of the Golden Gate Bridge, from what I understand. I've walked on the Golden Gate Bridge, but I've never been to the bar.
I've never been to any bar.
Are you saying I belong at Weenie Hut Junior's?
Just kidding, I think I had dinner at a Bennigan's once. Yeah, the Farley is a slip joint.
Farley.
I personally think that this one was made to fit a legality standard. I don't know where you live. Don't ask me any legal questions. I'm just some guy on the internet selling knives.
My show features state-of-the-art steel at rock-bottom prices.
But this is non-locking, a sub 3-inch blade, but it feels like a real knife.
Yeah, when I first picked this knife up, I do not think slip joint at all. They really departed from kind of that traditional look of your standard slip joint knife that your grandpa would carry. It doesn't look like that at all. Plus you have the pocket clip, so that really throws you off. And one of my favorite things on this knife is, we've all mentioned how much I like the rounded spine, but they've actually carried that rounded spine into the back spring, almost kind of seamless. And so it's just a design choice, but I really like that. It kind of looks like another knife that you've reviewed before. And
I will not talk about it.
Many times.
It's not a GiantMouse.
So if you're in the market, or that's your knife of choice as a slip joint, I would definitely look at the Farley.
Bad guy in little gold.
This M390 blade still on this one, and this one's gonna set you back $145 on BladeHQ.com.
All right, what's next?
All right, what we got? The Clyde. This is an interesting one. The description on this, actually on GiantMouse's website, I was looking at it, and they say it's a touch Scandinavian, mixed with Japanese, and a little hair of Persian.
So I'm nervous about this.
What?
You said Scandinavian, Japanese, and Persian, and the word Clyde is none of those things.
Yeah, that's a bar. That's Clyde. I want to say it's Clyde's Corner in Portland.
That is also none of those things.
We're gonna need to get some more, get some refills here.
Waiter, let's get another round over here.
All right.
So the Clyde, the Persian, I definitely see the swept trailing point blade would be the Persian. What's the Japanese? Do you see that in here?
I think sort of this geometric back handle, it kind of has a Japanese vibe to me. I'm in no way Japanese. I don't watch anime. So, I mean, not that that's...
Sorry, I didn't mean to set you up like that.
Yeah.
I thought George might know.
Yeah, I mean, I think it looks a little Asian inspired, Japanese inspired, kind of reminds me of the Kiridashi, but once again, I am not a Japanese knife expert by any stretch.
It's kind of like Burnley's Kwaiken. That's how he said it, Kwaiken.
Yeah, I'm not that cool.
That flat blade to handle, so maybe that's where he got it, where they're getting the Japanese from a little bit.
Yeah, but then you get the Persian and a bit of a trail on it.
So,
a deep slicey belly.
So this one has the aluminum handles. There was one in red, and that one was actually sick.
Yeah, but you all bought it, so.
This one is N690 blade steel. We have the wire clip. This one is a brass version. Oh, that was bad.
10 seconds later.
This one is the brass version. This thing is tight. I'm gonna have to loosen that. Okay,
You keep it taut.
Take all those out.
Much later.
This one is the brass version. I'm not even gonna flip it, it's tight. This one has Elmax steel. Probably actually decent for food prep. It's a very minimalist EDC.
It's slim and slicey.
These start at $145 on BladeHQ.com. We need another refill. Get it, George. All right.
We got back our drinks, man.
More my style. These are tall. All right.
Yeah, puts the hair on your chest, right? Or hair on the face. That's what y'all really want, right?
Show us what you got.
All right, so next we're gonna talk about a rodent of unusual size, if you will.
I don't think they exist.
I think this is the longest knife on the table. This is the GiantMouse Sonoma. So I have a little story for you about the Sonoma. Once upon a time, back in the day when the storefront was still here, I was out there and I was visiting with Melinda while she was filling the display cases. And she pulls out this knife and she's like flipping it open, put it in there. I'm like, hey, is that a Shirogorov? I haven't ever seen one of those in the flesh. Those are so nice. And she says, no, this is just a Sonoma. But, I mean, for all you knife nerds out there, you must admit, this bears striking resemblance to some Shirogorov knives. And it has the same materials and it's half the price. It's really awesome. It's a little bit bigger as well, but I think it's a really great knife.
This one's a little different, I would say. As Maya mentioned earlier, you have the GiantMouse line, then you have the productions that are made into the Ace line. This one's a little bit different because it carries over some of its premium materials. So it's the only knife on the table that actually has a milled titanium pocket clip.
The rest of us are wires.
And titanium frame lock. Oh, there's one other one that has titanium frame lock. So titanium pivot collars as well, anodized. Titanium backspacer. Definitely a little, this one stands out. This one is not like the others.
However, it might still be a little like the others.
Why is that?
Is Sonoma named after a bar?
I was gonna say. Okay, it's not named after a bar, it's named after the bar. It's just named after Sonoma, California, which is just wineries galore. So I'd say you hit it. It was an intentional naming. So the premium materials on this one is gonna cost you $265 on BladeHQ.com. This knife is discontinued. So if you've been looking at the Sonoma, I wouldn't wait too long because when they're gone, they might be gone. Maybe they'll make a mini version.
That'd be awesome. I'd buy it.
So let's have a look of an image that was sent in to us. This one comes from knife_eclectic. That's Marty. We actually get a 2-for-1 on this one.
Yeah, it's like he's got a Clyde and a Sonoma.
Brass Clyde.
And he's got the coin too.
It's like an out for a leisurely walk in the woods. You don't want to run into Marty.
Yeah, I'm telling you, that is just a classy picture. So, like everything about that is just class.
Brass and titanium. Looks great. Thanks for sending that one in. Actually, Marty had sent in a few. This is the one that we thought the best. I think that's the thing about the Sonoma, actually. It is a classy knife. It really screams gentleman's carry.
Yeah, but it's bigger than most.
Yes.
Yeah.
But there's some big gentlemen out there.
Yeah, or I mean, if you just like bigger knives, or if Shaq's watching this is the knife for your suit pocket.
All right, what do we have next? Iona.
All right, I already know this one's from a bar.
This is a bar in Brooklyn as well.
Apparently Brooklyn's the place to drink.
So the Iona stands out a little bit as well on the table. I would say if anything, it does have a little bit more of a budget feel, although you're still getting M390 steel, G10 handles.
Can we talk a minute about the texture on that? So this is the Anso texture, and Jens Anso of GiantMouse is the guy behind it. And I think he is the only designer or knife maker who has a texture named after him.
I couldn't think of another one.
Yeah, but I think it's a genius way of doing it where he kind of has the mill marks that interact and give you kind of a zigzagged line.
When I first saw it, I thought that it doesn't look comfortable. It looks a little aggressive, but when you actually feel it in hand, not at all. It's actually perfect. It's got plenty of traction. You're not gonna slip, but yeah, it doesn't have hot spots.
I think it's pretty too.
Liner lock, thumb studs, wire pocket clip.
Now this fella's discontinued as well.
This
and $125 on BladeHQ.com, and that's getting you these really nice milled G10 and M390. I like it. Do you like it?
I like this one.
Cool. So the next picture comes from EDC_010 on Instagram. And he's got the OD Green G10 Iona next to a Victorinox with walnut scales. And I did not realize how much I like that green and walnut combo.
Looks great. It's a clean pocket dump. Just a clean photo.
When I see that photo, it makes me want to put all that in my pockets, head out for a hike or something.
Or to a bar.
Or to a bar.
Thanks for sending that one in, that looks good. And you guys can vote on that one after the video. Moving on, what do you got? We only got a couple more.
Yeah, I've got the Riv. So the Riv, I like to call it the Pluxury. Is the Riv named after a bar, or is it named after Green's Season 9 base?
So the Riv, I want to say, is named after a bar in Michigan, where GiantMouse is headquartered currently.
Man, I'm getting sick of apple juice.
This is all I need to get drunk these days.
Now, this one is a titanium frame lock. I believe there's only one other frame lock on the table. That's a Sonoma. Yep. GiantMouse crew loves them a liner lock, but I'm glad to see they branch out a little bit. I also love this pop of gold in the backspacer. Kind of a nice accent. Yep. And a very nice flicky flipper action.
It's a lot easier to open than the Polar.
For sure.
So it definitely does feel like the Polar, except for you have these contoured titanium handles, so it feels a little bit better in hand.
So the GiantMouse Riv will run you $195 over on BladeHQ.com, and we got some brass versions, this titanium version and a green micarta version. And if you love the Polar like we do, but you're ready to take it to a new level with some fancier materials and ready to spend a little bit more, this is a great option for you.
And we have another image that was submitted to us of the Riv. This one comes from Austin Stanley _EDC. This one's like a real photo shoot. He actually sent in a carousel of this one. This one's the green micarta Riv. It's nice and moody.
It's a good looking knife.
It looks fancy.
I wish all my knives looked that good. Look at that leather backdrop though. Just the green and the leather. Man, people are good at matching colors. Maybe I ought to get a camera and learn to take a picture or two.
You totally should. And you guys can vote on this one at the end of the show. Just hit the link in the description. All right, what's next?
Next up, we got the GMF3. So GMF is not a bar, it is not GiantMouse fixed, I believe, correct?
That would be my guess.
And I'll tell you, when I first saw this thing, I'm like, that is the weirdest handle I have ever seen.
Can't believe you're gonna point that out.
But then you put it in your hand and it just fits. It's like it belongs. It's the strangest thing. Like, it shouldn't feel as good as it does.
Yeah. I mean, the blade to handle ratio is definitely interesting, but also, again, this is where they put the jimping, and it feels like, you know, once you get in there, you'll have the accuracy you need with this particular knife.
Yeah, if I was like skinning rabbits or fishing or something, sign me up. Also, can we talk about the sheath for a minute?
That thing's nice.
It's nice, like really well finished edges. I'm not even sure how they did this loop over, but it comes from a different layer, and then it's like it'll lay flush against your belt. You can kind of see that. I really like this sheath. I'm not sure how I feel about the square end. It's clean.
I think it's unique.
Also, the GiantMouse logo, I am not bothered by that logo. Sometimes people are like, logos everywhere, and it gets a little overwhelming. But GiantMouse has a really nice logo, and I don't mind if they put it like that.
I don't hate it. All right, and this one's gonna cost you $195 on BladeHQ.com. And we do have another photo that was submitted. This one comes to us from Two Brothers EDC. They actually submitted like 20. I think they have everything in the GiantMouse Ace line.
Fans, they're in deep.
And they have a Morbid mouse. So they have the GMF3 here with the Clyde and the Morbid mouse. It's a nice looking flat lay.
Yeah, I gotta get one of those Morbid mice. They're super cool. I like them.
Good job, guys. Thanks for sending all those in. We really appreciate it.
Great
and
shots.
What do we have next on the table? All right, next up we have the GiantMouse Nimbus version 2. This one's not really a flipper. I'm not gonna embarrass myself or give you guys the ammo.
Yeah, so the V2 is the one that has the contoured micarta instead of the flat G10, right?
Yes, and LMAX steel on this. We have the rounded spine, which is so nice. The jimping halfway up as well.
I think it's a great knife.
Yeah. This one, we were kind of discussing, it kind of gives us the same vibes as the Clyde. I'll kind of compare these two.
Here, I'll hold up this one for you.
It's got a similar lines, it's just a little bit beefier.
Doesn't have much of a trail, it kind of stays as
It's
the
not
drop.
exact, but we kind of felt that vibe when we pulled this one out.
So I got a use case for this Nimbus here.
Okay, let's hear it.
So you ever been camping and you're just feeling an urge to cook? So you got your Dutch ovens and you got your Camp Chef and you got the whole thing. This is the knife for you because, hear me out, you're gotta tend to a fire when you're cooking outside, and that's when you want a nice contoured micarta handle because you're gonna be making feather sticks or whatever. But you have a nice deep belly for slicing the beef and vegetables for the stew. Like, if you're cooking outside, I think this is a knife for you.
And it definitely has a thicker spine, so it has the strength that you're gonna need for that, and it's pretty slicey.
Yeah, nice versatile thing. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. This one's gonna set you back $185 on BladeHQ.com, and we actually had someone from Instagram send in a photo. This is from narc_B_black. This is a lovely photo. It's so cozy.
Yeah, oh, to be that Nimbus, snuggled by a kitty.
And we also like the creativity on this one.
Are we supposed to look at this like this is a mouse that's been caught by the cat and will soon be gored to death or something?
It can be a little dark. Remember, you guys can vote on this down below afterwards for the winner of the free GiantMouse knife. Okay, so this is the last knife that we have on the table today. This one is, I think it's the most romantic knife. It's called the Nibbler.
So, is that named after a bar? And if it is, that's a bar I'm definitely never going to.
It is not named after a bar. This one is named after a Tom and Jerry character. He was a little mouse that had the diaper. They called him Tuffy, or they called him Nibbles. So this knife is kind of that small but mighty knife. It definitely has a look that we've seen before, that familiar sheep's foot blade. This one has a 2-inch blade. It's made of N690 steel. We have aluminum handles, and there's a bunch of different variations. You want to show that?
Yeah, super collectible. Gotta catch them all.
And these colors pop, they look great. There's also a micarta version and a titanium version. The aluminum ones start at $95 on bladehq.com. This one's a liner lock. We have the pocket clip. I could definitely see removing the pocket clip and maybe carrying it on a keychain. I know my wife carries a ladybug on a keychain, but even the pocket clip's great for the misses or those that have smaller pockets that want to fit. This one fits the bill, but it
Even
is
like a coin pocket carry?
Exactly. It is definitely shorter, but it has, you know, a bit of girth on it, so you can really grip it.
Yeah, so I mean, today I'm carrying my Spyderco Dragonfly, and this knife, it allows you to use it really well because it has this really unique design where you can get a full 4 fingers on it. And this one doesn't quite have the 4 fingers, but it has the girth that you were mentioning. And even though I can only get 3 fingers, I can get a really solid grip on it, and I could really use this knife. Even though it's so tiny, keychain sized, and brightly colored. It's everything you'd ever want in a knife, right?
And you can be very accurate with it as well, because it is so small.
Mm-hmm. You like to cut stuff out of paper?
Sure. So that's the Nibbler.
Thanks for joining us today for our drink along. Should we do our last shot, Spencer?
The last one.
Cheers.
Yeah, that was fun. And all these knives will be linked in the description. Take you back to bladehq.com so you can get more specs or purchase. And tell us what you think in the comments. Tell us if you own any of these GiantMouse knives. Tell us what you think. Tell us your experience. We love to hear it. The community loves to hear it. It really does help out.
And if you played along with us and you made it this far, gold star.
Tell us how drunk you are.
Now remember to get over to the community post and vote on which picture you like the best, and the winner gets their pick of the knives on the table.
And we'll be doing this some more, so next time on Instagram, we ask for photos, send them in, and you'll have opportunity to win on the next one.
If you like what we're doing and you enjoy knife content like this, subscribe to Blade HQ and leave us a like, and we'll see you on the next one.
Bye guys.